ready to install the cameras. They're pretty good looking cameras, feel very solid. I'm really interested in their night vision. But you got to figure out how the base works. So right now it's in a straight line. Well, very seldom do you actually mount a camera that way. Found two of these hex keys that'll work on this. 564 in SAE and 2.5 millimeters in metric. They both fit about the same, very loose. Okay, so it's in a straight line now, but you want to be able to lower this camera to adjust your angle. So loosen this screw, and that'll let you change the angle. So I'm going to tilt that down. This is an approximation of what I need. On the ladder, I'll actually figure out specifically what I need. And the other thing is here, usually they have two gimbals right here, but this one uses the base. So I loosen that, and that now spins. So when I mount that on the wall, I can now rotate the camera. So there's two options. The third option you need is this one. That will let that camera rotate. So if I mount it like this, at an angle like that, I can then rotate this. The problem is the hex key that works on this screw and this screw does not work on this screw. I find that bizarre. So now I gotta find a key that'll fit in there, because I want to mount it like this and rotate it to the side so it comes out and looks down the street, but I've got to be able to rotate this camera. So now I got to go find what fits that. Okay, so I went and got a precision screwdriver set from Harbor Freight. It has a bunch of options. I think a T10 would work, but that seems to not be in this set, which is kind of weird. But I found a hex head that fits that says 2.5. Try the 2.5 in this hex set. Doesn't work. So I really thought 2.5 millimeters was 2.5 millimeters all the world over. Maybe not. So loosen this, and now if I mount it like this, I can turn the camera and have it upright. So I'll be able to mount this about like I want. It'll be on the side of the house, and I want to look down the street. I might actually go just a little further. So there we go. That should work just fine. We got two 2.5s that are different, and they look like the same profile. They're both hex. I get all of these set back like I want. Okay, so I got it all tightened up. I might have to lower it a little, but I think that's going to be okay. I'll go ahead and mount this to the side of the house where I want to look down that street, and then we'll see. I don't want to take that plastic off until I get it installed. Too much chance of hitting it. Okay, this one's going to be opposite angle. I'm going to put one on each end of the back of the house, and one's going to shoot down the yard, tell us what the dogs are doing, and one's going to shoot down the road on the outside of the fence to let us see down that street. So I think I've got these where I need them. When I install them, we'll find out. Okay, so here's the corner of the house. So I want to come back to about here so I can see out that way and down that road. So that's going to work out pretty good. I am going to have to go out to the far end and trim some trees so I get a little better vision. I'm going to mount the camera here. I'm going to have to run cable right there. The problem is you can see it from the road, and I typically like to hide that, but you can't always. First I want to do is make sure I got this in the right place. So that should be okay. I'm going to mount this, and then I'm going to take my phone and get some views of where it's at and start adjusting it. I just want to get one screw mounted. And you don't need the templates if you're mounting to this. This is siding over plywood. They give you the template in case you need to mount inserts in the wall. But this is in the plywood, so it'll be fine. I'm using the screws that came with it. So that's a pretty solid mount. And I already know I need to adjust that, so let's go ahead and do it. It needs to come up, so I turned it around. When you adjust this, always push the joints together because they get loose and separate. They'll let you tighten the screw and let it hang funny. I need to turn it down the street. Okay, I've only got one screw in it, so I've got to remember that. There we go. And why I say I got to remember that is I've got the first screw at the top. I can adjust this as a mallet to point up or down as needed. So I think this is what I want, but I might be coming out later and adjusting it a little. I want to put a second one in to stabilize it, but I might be moving it, so I'm not going to put the third one in yet. I'll go ahead and take this off so I can see out of it now. The power plug is now a pain because I've got to hide this. I'm not going to be able to hide it very well, and that just makes it one more thing to hide that I can't. Try to hide it as best I can. But I've got a 10-foot piece of PVC. I might cut a piece off of that and run the Ethernet cable down it. In which case I'll wrap the cable around here, run the PVC to right here, and that helps hide it a little bit more. But I don't like a lot of wire showing. So what I'm going to do is just take a nitrile coated screw. I'm going to try to get it in there so it'll support this and hold it up. Nitrile coated will not rust. I'll generically say that's better than nothing, but not much. Got the cable here waiting to run upstairs. This is the PVC. Goes all the way over here. Fits on the end of that. Those little tabs act as stops, so it won't go any further in, but that's actually pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with this installation. Here's a view of the cameras on a PC. You just go to the IP address, everything's good. Here's a default view of the cameras on a PC. Two cameras here. Click on one, it goes to this. Pretty nice view. If you want to adjust volume, you hit this, and then it shows a bar that actually controls it. So I can turn it off, turn it back on, and there is some residual noise out there. It might just be the high gain on the micro. But as you can see, this is night vision. It's great. But I've got to adjust this camera because this is a street light. Well, I don't want the camera seeing that street light, so I'll come down lower, maybe even this far, because I'm more interested in covering this area. Other than that, in terms of the camera position, I got it right where I want it. So I double click on this again, it goes back to showing all the cameras. I still have to buy 2 more cameras. On the right here, there's a problem. When I pointed this camera, I pointed it right down the side of the house. All of the light generated by the night light system goes down the garage. It needs to go over in here. So very happy with this system so far. So this is how you mount the cameras, and this is what turns out from the cameras. So if you like the videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.